Hey, welcome back everyone. Today, I'm gonna make this thing look a lot better than it does right now. So I've been working hard over the last couple weeks to get the chassis painted and put together, and that's done. I've got the chassis, all the bars, cage, everything all painted. Everything underneath is painted. Chassis is assembled and complete. Now, the body. We are ready to spray this thing with epoxy primer and get this thing in one shade of gray. Took me a while. I had to sand the whole cab down again because of the little bit of surface rust that was coming through the primer from when this thing got wet coming home from the car show. Basically, I sanded the whole thing down again. Got rid of all the rust. There were some spots from when this thing was sandblasted. This was like concaved, it was warped in. So I had to heat her up and pop her back out because I don't want a ton of filler in this cab. There will be some, I don't want a ton. Had to do a little bit of metalworking back here as well. Get some spots pulled out there. And this side wasn't as bad. There was a few little spots to pop out, so I did that. I've got this door fit. This thing is still bare metal. Like, I had this thing sandblasted well over a month ago, and there is no rust at all. But I don't want to push my luck. I want to get this thing sprayed. But I've got her fitting pretty good. I mean, these doors don't fit great, and there really is no adjustment. You can't really move the hinges much at all. But I've got her sitting pretty good. Now, I am no professional body man by any means, but I've done this enough times to know kind of what works and what doesn't for me. And I mean, I've had pretty good luck with the car. I mean, I painted that car a couple years ago, the Le Mans, and it's still looking good. So, you know, with every project like this, you learn and you do better the next time. So I'm spraying this in with epoxy primer first, just to kind of seal the body from anything ever penetrating to the bare metal again. Then we're gonna seam seal this thing and then start the body work. So with the frame done, I have to now wrap this thing, mask it off somehow. I started taping wherever the cage meets the body. I started masking it off. But to have to try and mask off the entire chassis, like, that's gonna be a nightmare. That's gonna take a long time. And it's not like I can just tarp all this off, because I gotta be able to get in here with my gun. I need room to spray. I've gotta get in here and spray. I can't just tarp off the whole back of the truck. Same thing up here. I can't just tarp everything off because I got to get down here with a gun to spray all down in here. So this is what I've come up with. Never used this before, but this is collision wrap. Basically, it's plastic wrap that's kind of sticky on one side, a lot like packaging tape, but not quite as sticky as packaging tape. And this is what you'll see on like insurance vehicles or anything that's been in an accident, or if you got a window blown out, this is the kind of wrap you'll see covering a broken window. Just sticks right to the paint of the car and you can peel it off when you're done. I hope when I peel this off, it doesn't take the paint with it or leave a glue residue behind. I did do a little test spot. This one bar underneath, I did wrap a little bit around it, left it for a couple days and then peeled it off, and it seems fine. It didn't take any paint off. But now when it's been sitting on it for, you know, that wrap could be on there for a month. By the time I get all the body work done, get this thing painted, you know, it could be a month. I don't know. Depends on how fast I can get this done. But this is what I'm thinking. I'm gonna wrap the cage in that stuff, wrap part of the chassis. I've got some drop sheets I'm gonna basically do from the axle back, cover all that with a tarp. And we're gonna turn this garage into one not so big paint booth. It's not really big, and I've got a lot of crap in here. When you take a truck apart or any vehicle apart and you break it down into pieces, it occupies a lot of space. Like I've got parts everywhere. So I've got to tarp all this off, or else everything is going to be the color that I'm painting this truck. Well, it's all masked off. I don't know if this really saved a whole lot of time, but I mean, this took me probably about 2 hours to wrap everything. I pulled the rear wheels off just to make it a little easier. Wrapping big tires wasn't going to be much fun, I don't feel, so took them off. But everything's wrapped, including the chassis. I'm not worried about overspray on the floor. I mean, no one's ever going to see it. But yeah, she is pretty much ready for paint. Like I said, I've already wiped it down with acetone. She's nice and clean. So yeah, that's done. Now we move on to making this a paint booth. Picked up 12-foot tall drop sheet. That's a 400-foot roll, so I'm gonna have more than enough. And I'm just gonna go along and staple it to the ceiling. I've got 10-foot ceilings on this, in this shop, which gives me enough to lay on the floor where I'm gonna lay some 2x4s on top. That way the tarp's not moving around. In the past, I've done it where I use 10-foot drop sheets, and just walking around the vehicle I'm painting, the tarps are moving, kind of stirring up dust. Don't want that. Ventilation. Ventilation in here is going to be easier than I've done in the past. In the past, I've stuck just a fan in this window, blowing out my crap. Now I'm going to have a box fan I picked up. This is where my air conditioner was. I put an air conditioner in last year. I'm going to hang this. I'm going to take that plywood off, hang this in front of the opening, blowing that way. I can now open up both these windows and have fresh air coming in. Gonna tape some furnace filters over the windows to keep, you know, if you're in a dusty area, you want to keep the dust out. If you have bugs love clear coat. As soon as you spray clear coat, bugs are gonna come and stick to it. We're gonna do the best we can with what we got. I don't have a legit paint booth. I've got this garage. So, you know, we're gonna try and keep it clean. We're gonna try and keep air moving, not too fast. You don't want fast moving air, but you want to get these fumes and stuff out of here. And I feel that's the best way we're going to do it. So let's make a paint booth. All right, I got everything tarped off. I got my boards along the bottom just to kind of keep it from moving around too much. Got my fan going. I just have it on low right now. And yeah, we're ready to go. So I didn't bother with this stuff over here. I really don't care that much. If anything, overspray, whatever gets on this stuff. I actually have two compressors. This is my old one I've had for like 15 years. And it's getting a little tired. So I bought a second one because it was on sale. So now I got twice the amount of air available to me. And I just have them teed together. And I've got my water separator and stuff over here. So I am ready to go. I'm just gonna open up the one window. I'm not gonna bother with filters. It's only epoxy primer. It's really not a big deal if dust or whatever kind of gets in. It's all getting sanded anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna get this thing sprayed. Like I said, I have the fan on low right now because it is cold outside. It's only like 3 degrees, and the faster the air moves, the faster it cools down. So I don't need a ton of ventilation for what I'm doing here, but I do need some. Now, I didn't address this door. I sent this door out to get repaired. It had some bubbling along the bottom. I did say I was gonna fix it myself, but you know, just to save some money. Time is not something I have a lot of. So if I want this project to get done, I do have to sub some stuff out. For me to fix the door, we're talking a month for me to fix it, because I'd have to pick away at it little bits at a time. You know, in the evenings, come out for an hour, do some more. And realistically, it's probably gonna take me like 3 or 4 weeks before I finally finish it. So this was one of those things that was better for me to just send it out, get it done better than what I can do. And while it's being worked on, I can get started on other stuff. So that's where that door is. I'll have to epoxy that and everything when it gets in, but I can at least get started on this stuff. Okay, that's enough talking. I'm gonna mix up my primer. Here's the activator. I don't know if I get that with one hand. Oh yeah, I'm strong. Just a simple primer. Gonna get her mixed up and we'll get this thing sprayed out. Well, that was a lot of work just to make it look a little different, but now it's one uniform shade of gray. And now I don't have to worry about moisture getting to the bare steel. And that's really all we're trying to do here, is just protect it from rusting anymore. But definitely could not have the fan on low with only one window open. I did have both windows open almost right away, because as soon as I started spraying, the fumes in here got pretty intense. So I cranked that fan to 3, opened both windows, and I mean, that's about as good as you're gonna get in here. Just because, like I said, you don't want the air moving too fast, or it's gonna cool down too quick, or it's gonna stir up dust and stuff. But I mean, that was manageable. I'm gonna give this thing about 48 hours to more or less cure. And then once it's cured, we're gonna go along and seam seal everything. But I don't wanna do it just yet, or even tomorrow. I mean, be pushing it to do it tomorrow. I'm gonna give it 2 days. All right, it's 2 days later. I just went around and seam sealed everything. So the floor that I welded in along the back, the tunnel in the middle, even to the bottom side. Got her all sealed up. You know, it's just a simple rubber seam sealer. But basically, we're now at the point where we can start doing body work. But that'll be in the next video because I don't want to make one video that's super long. And yeah, this is just basically episode 1 of a few. But that'll be it for today's video. I mean, we made a spray booth, somewhat. We got her epoxy primered. We have her seam sealed. So next will be the body work, which I actually look forward to. I think of myself as a master of Bondo. I've impressed myself with what I've repaired using Bondo. I know it's not the best way to do stuff, but I've had vehicles in the past that still look pretty good. I won't say which ones those are, but I don't know. I like it. I don't know. It's like, you know, you're literally molding something out of clay. But that's it for today. Fortunately, there actually won't be much Bondo on this thing, but I don't know. I like using it. But that's it for today. We'll see you next time.